Good morning, Rogersville. Thanks for joining us once again on the Morning Waffle. It's a little bit new lineup today. There's Lauren. Hi,
Good morning.
Lauren. Hey.
Morning.
Mandy's here. Mandy, good morning to see you.
Good morning,
here.
Mandy.
Good. And, of course, as always, Beth. With the happy birthday, Lauren Brooke, the very first
Thank you,
one
Beth.
to
Appreciate
wish
that, Beth.
Lauren a happy birthday today.
Or-
She's 18.
Yes,
Today.
I am 18 today. I can buy lottery tickets, serve our country, and I don't think you can buy cigarettes anymore. I think you have to be like 19 or 20 to buy
Is that
those.
it? I can't remember.
I'm just saying. I think
maybe
those
it's nine.
rules
I think it's
changed.
19.
I
Actually,
think it's changed.
Has it? I don't
If
know.
anybody knows out there, confirm and let us know.
And Lauren's brother, JR.
I brought
is
my
joining us
brother.
here today. But not your birthday buddy
Not
brother.
my birthday
Good
brother.
morning.
Yeah.
My other brother, Ryan, we have the same birthday, exactly 3 years apart. Thank you, Carol. JR is my oldest brother, my work friend.
I'm the boss.
He's probably like, why am I on this show? Yeah, Jared and I work together, and every year Jared's like, hey, Lauren, do you want to like put your name and like the team name and put your face on the signs? And I'm like, nope.
Just as long as the checks keep cashing, right?
I want the people to call JR.
That's right. Oh, I forgot to share the show.
Oh, no, we're sharing the show.
Are you putting it on?
I'm sharing it.
Are you putting it on Rogersville Residents?
I'll put it on Rogersville Residents
Okay.
too. The Rogersville Residents people. Sorry, I'm lagging behind.
That's okay. We're doing all right.
Jerry, would do a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah, while we do other things.
Will's volume's up this morning.
Yeah, my bad.
Well, I suppose I'll do a brief introduction. I got roped into doing this. Never been on camera really before, so it's a little intimidating. My body's like in shock, but I think I'm going to be okay. I have had coffee this morning. My name's JR, and I live in Rogersville.
Thank you for your support.
And I sell the real estate, the houses.
Vote for Pedro. That's totally taken.
Pedro and I are tight. So that's pretty well it.
When
Yes,
I asked
good
JR,
job.
I'm like, JR, how you would do the waffle? He goes, well, I need practice on camera. So I
That's
guess
exactly why
You got a lot of skills, right? Your
so
bow
bear
staff
with me today.
skills. And
I'm practicing.
got a lot of skills.
I have a unique set of skills.
Bow staff skills.
I've more
Nunchaku.
nunchucks.
Nunchaku.
I can't
skills.
say nunchaku properly, but I call them nunchucks because that's what Michelangelo or
How do you-
Donatello had. I think.
how do you say nunchucks?
In Korean,
I don't know.
Songjabong.
Whoa. I didn't expect
Songjabong.
that.
Yeah. Well, I was teaching your kids Songjabong.
I know.
Did Evelyn get to where she had some of
No,
those?
we didn't get to that point.
She didn't get to the chucks. That's okay.
I always felt like it turned into a violent ordeal.
Yeah. Well, that's when all
That's
the
the
fun started.
purpose.
So it is again tough month here on the Morning Waffle.
I forgot my shirt.
Yeah, but we're good. So our friend Emma, the unique flower farmer, is sponsoring the waffle all the month of April because she opens the outpost on the 18th, I believe.
I'm
right?
pumped. I think that's right.
Saturday? Yeah, right?
Is that
Monday?
Saturday?
I don't know.
No. I think that's Monday.
Right there in front of Apple
Monday,
Market.
yeah,
Right
right.
in front of
yeah,
Apple Market,
yeah, in the Apple
yes.
Market. So
Can't
she's
miss
got a little. What did I do? Okay, she's got a little announcement video for us. So we're gonna roll. We're gonna go to the videotape.
Roll tape.
Roll tape. Okay.
Take a look at Emma.
Good morning, K-ROG viewers and Morning Waffle fans. This is Emma, the unique flower farmer, and we are less than 1 week away from the official opening of Tufts Garden Outpost here in Rogersville.
The outpost is full of perennials grown locally on our farm, and today we are receiving a truckload of annual color.
And we're back. So
And we're back.
Thanks, Emma, for that. I think we're gonna have Emma on the show.
We need to have him on the show.
Have Emma come on.
We're
the
going to have
show here.
special guests over the next 5 weeks. JR, lovingly known as Tio, too, in our household.
Really?
When I started having kids, JR wanted to be called Tio Loco.
That's right. Crazy uncle.
Oh, Tio. I was thinking like Terrell Owens.
No. Tio Loco.
So the name stuck, and the other brother's Doc, and I'm Lala.
Okay.
Right, to the kids. So yeah, we have fun. We have
Oh,
fun
yeah,
times like
that's,
that.
that is kind
So
of
Tio's the first guest, and then we want to have Emma. We'll
Yeah.
have Keaton. I've got a couple other ideas.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, we want to have guests for the
Because
next
Chris
5
Ballard
weeks.
has been Zuckerberg. He's been banned from. No.
That's not true.
Never ruin a good story with
He's
the facts.
taking a sabbatical.
He's taking a sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
That's a great way to think about that. Yeah.
I never understood what my professors were doing in college when they said they were taking a sabbatical. I was like, are you on vacation? What
Yes,
does that mean?
that's exactly what that means.
Can I do that?
No. You don't work for an institution. Anyway. No, we give our pastors at church, they get sabbaticals, but there's a purpose in it. It's,
They need a break.
It's like a little spiritual retreat.
Yes. Jared, would you like a spiritual retreat from real estate?
I need a year.
Particularly the last year, right?
You got to check on your realtor friends right now. They're not doing well. It's it's the toughest market of my career. I started real estate in 2010, and
Yep.
I've sold over 500 properties in Southwest Missouri, and the market is such a seller's market that it is nearly impossible to put a responsible deal together for
buy
a
side.
buyer.
It's
And
wild.
It is just really, really tough. For example, I have not sold a house to a buyer this year.
It's true. Yeah.
And
Wow.
it's
Isn't that crazy?
It's not for lack of trying. We've sold lots of listings. We've sold land. We've sold development land.
Yep.
I'm working on a couple projects right now that are pretty exciting.
Yep.
But it is just really tough.
It's brutal. I feel for our local buyers big time.
And interest rates are going up too.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
got
a
emails. Yeah.
double-edged sword. Your 30-year interest rates, a lot of them that the banks are posting are over 5%.
Over 5%.
Which we haven't had that for 10 years.
It went crazy.
Well, I'm just going to stay in the house I've got.
That's
probably what I'm gonna do for
hunker
now.
down is a pretty good thing to do in the current climate.
Shauna, as far as we know, I believe Tom Baker spontaneously combusted. But we're going to check on Tom. No, he's got a job.
a new job.
He got a new job.
He's traveling a lot.
Yeah, so he travels a lot. So
He
he'll
just
probably
post pictures in airplanes.
Yes.
yeah, lots of pictures.
Yes.
It's all over
So
the
that-
place.
Yeah, so
That's funny.
yeah, we're not sure all of that. But
Oh, good morning, Cassie.
Hey, Cassie, our,
Would you like for once, happy birthday.
yeah,
Yes.
that's our mom show mom.
It was
from
good to see you
Friday.
back
Yep.
on the mom show, Cassie.
Yep.
You looked wonderful.
Yep, good
Good job.
Yep, awesome. So
So this is what we do, JR. We sit around, we talk about stuff.
I need to know all these people. I feel like
well, you're a celebrity now.
I need to meet them.
You're a
I don't know
celebrity
what to do
now.
with my
so-
hands. Yeah, once you wear the green shirt, it's like the Masters. The green shirt's like the
It
Masters
is kind of like
jacket.
it is kind of like a master jacket. That's right.
Welcome. Here's a mint julep.
I'm still trying to figure out when I'm going to build that second U garden. Did I explain the difficulty I'm having building the?
No, I have not
So
heard about
I
the
built
difficulty of the
Shelby
U
a U garden because she's the gardener, not me. I'm the cook. She gardens, and
Makes sense.
She's a great cook too, and I don't want to.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah. Thank you, JR, for the segue. But she's a fantastic gardener. So I built her a U garden a while back. But the problem is the time to build a new U garden in the appropriate time to be able to plant, they don't work. Like you have to build it because it's too wet.
Yes,
it's-
during the mud season.
And so it's very difficult to build it like now when I ought to build it
Yes.
because it's too wet.
It's moist
So I'm going to probably have to build it in August and just let it sit for a year and it not,
and marinate.
yeah, and just let that thing go. But yeah.
I am not. I'm pretty good with plants, but like vegetable food growing items, I've just not done well with it. I've never had the perfect spot in my yard for it. Jared, how's your corn crop? Oh, he's like, there's no corn crop.
Corn crop.
I'm messing with you.
I watch my in-laws garden. They do a wonderful job.
I was about to get excited because I like locally grown, homegrown corn. It's one of my
They'll have
favorite
corn.
things. And so Shelby always has said, "What do you want me to grow this year?" I'm like, "Grow corn."
Kern.
I think you just call Fieldins for corn.
Well, that's a great
It's
idea.
locally is
Yeah,
what you do.
that's probably
That's
what
my
I will do. If you get it
understanding.
from the farmers markets, that's fantastic. And I know we don't
Yes.
have one this year.
I know.
Too bad.
That's okay though.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it'll come back. Seymour's, they had theirs Saturday.
Theirs is getting started back
Yep.
up, and that's guys. There's some neat stuff going on in Seymour. If you haven't, tootle down there on a Saturday morning. The coffee shop in Seymour, and I'm totally blanking on the name. Wish I could remember it. Is awesome. These people
Yeah?
built I'm gonna call it Majestic Coffee Shop.
Really?
Right by the square in Seymour. I think they roast their own beans. They have stuff called fry bread, which is
Yep.
delicious. And I highly recommend you tootle down to Seymour on a Saturday morning and have some farmers market stuff and have a cup of coffee.
Can't remember their name because they're not a sponsor.
Why can I not remember their name?
Because they're not a sponsor.
That's what it was. Yeah. So I recommend. I went to the farmers market in Springfield on Saturday morning. was great.
Yep. I
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoy wandering
I
around
tried
those
something
places.
new. They have these Seattle-style donuts, and it's a brioche bread that she said it's a several-day process to make the dough, and then they're stuffed. One's stuffed with chive cream cheese and seasoned with everything bagel seasoning.
Delicious dish.
Sounds fantastic.
And then there was like strawberry mascarpone.
Yeah.
That's how you say that. And then custard, homemade custard, and they were real nice, Clark.
Also not a sponsor, but I think it's worth saying is that there it is, Old Depot Coffee.
Old Depot Coffee.
Emma's saving us
Thanks,
there.
Emma.
Thanks, Emma.
The Wildcat Grub and Pub is no longer the Wildcat Grub and Pub.
I've heard legend of this.
Yeah, so it's now Beaks, and I was in there last week, and I got the carnivore burger. So it's a hamburger. It's got some pulled pork on it, some barbecue sauce. It was freaking awesome.
Was it amazing?
Yeah, it was pretty
I
good.
said something I shouldn't say. My brother's in the room with me, so my filter's off.
It was pretty good. It was very good. It was very good.
We are anxious to eat there again. I think they're going to kind of over time rework the whole menu. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, Richard was telling me, he's like, yeah, it was on special when I got it. And I was going to order something else. And Jan said, did you know about our special? And I said, well, no, what is it? And she did. And I'm like, well, I'll take that. And it was a fantastic recommendation from Jan. And Richard was in there, and I told him, I said, hey, that's a good burger. He's like, yeah, we're going to put it on the menu.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, they're doing some really cool things over there at Beaks. And
That's awesome.
We helped import Richard and Amber to our area.
That's true.
And
did you?
great folks.
Yep.
He's British, I
Yep,
believe.
he is. It sounds like it. For sure.
Great to work with. And
Yeah, they're super
we're
nice people.
excited they've invested in Rogersville.
And
we
I
love
think-
it when people come to the community and then invest
Invest in
in
the
it.
community.
Speaking
cool.
of investing in the community, here's a comment
yeah.
from the Larry Martin Memorial Community Gardens. Next work day is the 16th, Saturday the 16th, 9
That's
a.m.
a Saturday.
Yeah, weather permitting. All hands on deck. Welcome planting seeds, sowing greens, carrots, radishes. So it's a great opportunity to come up and just help your community. You could meet some of these folks, JR. You never know. It's an audio show. You
I
have to
can
talk.
learn how to garden.
I could learn how to garden.
I do have a garden story I've got to tell real
Oh,
quick.
Emma points out, by the way, it's local beef at Beaks because they get their beef from Valley
Valley
Mountain right
Mountain.
across. So that's true. And that's why the
What's wonderful.
burgers are so good. Yeah, JR.
So I bought my property last year, and it had a dump site on the back of it. And we burned and burned and burned for a week. And lo and behold, a squash plant arrived from the rubble.
The Phoenix
And
squash.
It produced some nice little green and yellow squashes.
There you go.
There you go.
We did not consume them for fear of radioactivity.
Contamination.
That's my farming story.
Yeah.
And carry on.
That's that's kind of like what Jerry and I were talking off air. We have a leaky basement, and we kind of talked through all that. And he's
do
like,
I.
and he said, "Well, you can buy this stuff and do it yourself." I said, "You don't understand. I have a particular set of skills, and that's not one of them."
That's not one of
so,
We were talking about epoxy port injection.
That's what
I
he
need to do
said.
some epoxy port
Yeah,
injection. I
so
have some cracks along
I need
windows.
I need a professional that can do.
We know those professionals. We
EPI
can-
on my basement floor.
Boy, but that's something. I'm going to caution you guys out there in the land. Foundation.
Pointing the finger.
Foundation repair. There's several companies that do it. And you will get vastly broad bids from $1,500 to $25,000.
Well, and
Plus.
that's kind of what started this. Is I called one of those companies that you hear about all the time, and they wouldn't even come out. They were very rude and basically like, "You're not worth our time."
That, and JR has a story recently about this with a situation. You have to be extraordinary. Always get a couple of bids. And if you know a realtor or you know somebody that's in the home profession and a bid seems high to you, call around and check.
Well, you're my go-to, Lauren, for anything
Yes.
home related. I'm like, Lauren, who should I call? And you've never steered me wrong. I've gotten some great recommendations. Most recently, Jesse Haynes,
Jesse
who
Haynes,
is
bomb.com.
the man, plumber. Wow.
Yep, he's
Great
awesome.
guy, great job. Love
He's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'd
Local
be doing
Rogersville.
a disservice if I wouldn't give a shout out to Lisa Martin.
Oh,
with
yeah,
Martin
Lisa.
Pools.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're rehabbing a house with an in-ground pool in town. I'm completely new to the pool scene. And
Got your
Lisa's
Speedo. That's the lavender speedo action.
Terrifying.
I'm working on it. I'm in training. Lisa came out, hopped in that pool on Sunday, tore the old liner out. She's got a new liner ordered, put half down yesterday, and it may be in within 4 to 6 weeks.
She's awesome.
Wow.
I got to meet her yesterday. She is
just
delightful.
a wonderful first impression, local Rogersville contractor.
I love our Rogersville people.
Yeah.
Just a good situation. She was referred direct to me by one of my great clients out of Springfield or peers in real estate. And great experience so far. And I say this often in real estate, so far so good.
So far,
so good. You never know.
I'm real confident in Lisa, though.
Lisa's awesome. She's super
gal.
sweet.
Yeah, that is
I
good.
got to meet her yesterday, and it was like, it's amazing how you can fly in circles around different contractors and people and not ever run across them until just the right person's like, you need to know this person. So it's she's awesome. She was super sweet. Enjoyed meeting her.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah.
good.
But I mean, it's a big deal with the wet basement stuff. I mean, I live in a 100-year-old church, and so we've got some cracks around some windows and some concrete on
Maybe
one
that's
side
just
of the
the
house.
baptistry.
The baptistry. That's where you get baptized, in the wall in the basement.
Everybody knows.
But it is time to do some of that sealing around those cracks because it'll happen. I mean, 100-year-old houses don't typically tend to have bone dry basements. That's just really not.
Particularly if they were churches.
Particularly. Yep.
First thing you got to do is try to get that water away from your house, and it starts with downspout extensions, and then it goes from there
Done that.
And then
to
escalates.
grading.
Done
and,
that.
And then it goes on and on.
Sump
Then
pumps.
you
We got
start
sump
pumps and French drains
Yep.
to your arsenal.
Yep.
And sealing things. And then-
That's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
EPI, yeah. We're gonna see. I've memorized it now. I've heard it enough. I'm gonna remember epoxy port injection.
Yep. It's pretty cool stuff.
Okay.
That's exactly what I need.
If you pay somebody for EPI, it's about $100 a foot. And it's probably, with inflation, it's probably...
$700 a foot.
Yeah. It's probably more like 150, 175, and they can get to your place in 2024.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
So probably the best thing to do is find a wise handyman or a contractor and provide him with the EPI tools. It's pretty simple.
We may have
stuff.
an EPI episode at my house because I think that's exactly what I need in my little window crack areas.
Well, I'm anxious
what
to
we
know
need.
about that.
Well, all these stuff.
So I can't remember if it was last Sunday or Sunday before last. We had the Wildcat Blast. We went out to...
Pew pew.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We went to Ozark Shooters on the way down to Branson.
Is that what that's called now? Is that
Ozark
the one?
Shooters Sports Complex.
Is that the shooting range that's been in that valley area?
Yeah. And it is more extensive than you believe it is. I mean, they've got
Really?
multiple sporting clay, I don't know what you call them, courses, I guess.
Yeah.
They got some cowboy action shooting ranges. They've got rifle range. They've got pistol ranges. They've got trap. They've got skeet. The whole deal. Skeet. Yeah, the whole deal. It's really cool. But we went down there to support the Wildcat trap shooting team, and so we took a team down there. It was Ford Worshams and Kix Nelson. That was our
Nice.
team, and we went down there and shot. We had a pretty good time. We didn't win anything, but it was super fun. I didn't have any offers, which was a new one for
offer.
me. 0 for 4.
Yeah.
0.
I've
An
never
offer-
shot trap.
Well, offers in anything. It's like when you basically get a 0.
Or skunk somebody.
Yeah.
That's what they used to say back in
Offers.
those days.
Offers. So
I got skunked.
Each one of these, you go to 10 different stations, and there'll be 2 trap throwers, and they'll throw 2 clays. And you shoot them, and then they do it again. So you get 4 at each station, and at each station, I got at least 1. And I did get a 4 for 4 on one station.
There you go.
I'm moving
I think
up.
that would
Of
be
course,
fun. I'd
Jack
shoot some trap.
smoked us all. He's the pro.
Kix had a great time.
Yeah, he did have good. It
That's
was
cool.
fun having him down
I
there.
saw some pictures of that event. It looked fantastic. Saw some faces from Springfield that were, some business owners that were participating.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Got JJ Romines with Country Financial. I saw he participated.
He was out
in
there?
that
That's cool.
event.
Yeah.
We grew up with him.
A lot of people will come out from all over, and so I had a good time. I thought, I didn't do one of these. I figure out one. So I figured I want to have one of these. I want to do it again. So I decided I think my church needs to have a trap shoot.
Makes sense.
So I called Peggy Seiler down there and said, "Hey, you got any Sunday afternoons open?" She's like, "Yeah. When do you want to come?" So June 5th, Fellowship Bible Church is going to be hosting a sporting clays event. So it's $30 per person. That's all it
That's
is.
not bad.
Because we're not trying to make any money on it. So
Yeah.
that's what they charge us, $30. So you just pay them direct. So
Cool.
you got to RSVP at our church, fbclife.org to sign up. It's probably not up yet because I just told them yesterday that I
Yeah.
did it.
They're just like, oh gosh, Will's got an idea again.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it works.
Will's got an idea.
I called him and said, we're hosting a trap gun, shotgun event. And
I'm sure when they get the call from you, they're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, I just filled out the form and like, this is it. I actually called one guy, a good guy, and I'm like, hey, you're going to be this ministry contact for this. He's like, okay. And away we go.
That's cool.
Yeah, if you want to shoot, come down and shoot, bring a team. Or don't bring a team. Just come down. We'll put you on a team and shoot and just have fun. That's all it is. Shoot, bust some clays.
I like it.
June 5th. It'll be awesome. So we'll do it then.
Jared, did you know that Rogersville has a very successful trap team?
I am familiar with some of their posts and sponsors.
Yep.
I mean, country boys around here know how to shoot.
Yeah.
That's what the way we did it growing up is we threw a rock on top of the barn and out came the pigeons. And that's how I learned how to wing shoot. And one of my favorite stories of doing that as a kid is we had this terrible dog, Lucky.
Oh, Lucky was a disaster.
A moppy Cocker Spaniel.
He was a black Cocker Spaniel from the pits of hell. He was wild.
He was raised in the sewers.
He was so sketchy.
But I shot a pigeon and it came down and it hit Lucky on top of the head. It was so funny.
People still to this day, people we haven't seen in 15 years, be like, whatever happened to that dog?
My mom ran over the dog.
She hit him.
That was not so lucky.
Sorry, Vicky.
For the second time.
Second time.
Second time killed it.
We think it was really a suicide situation. I mean, we think he was done. He
threw
had a
himself
rough
on
9 years.
I think he thought he could blow up a car. And didn't work.
Oh, Lucky the crazy Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Circling around. Kids know how to shoot around here. Especially in the rural areas. And it's a fantastic, pastime.
I think it's great.
Shooting and hunting in our area it's wonderful.
It's awesome.
And it needs to be done safely. Fortunately, our dad taught us extreme gun safety. And but this area it's produced some good hunters. And, I mean, some people have kind of learned how to monetize hunting and fishing in our area. And, of course, we're the epicenter of Bass Pro, and this is just part of our livelihood in Southwest Missouri.
It's awesome. Very much part of our childhood.
The trap team. They've got some killer
cool.
shooters.
Yeah.
Way better than I.
Won a national championship just a couple years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's okay. National championship.
National
Rogersville
championship.
has a broad range of, or excelling in a broad range of activities. It's awesome. That's one of my favorite things about Rog.
Not to mention the raccoon capital of the world.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I've never seen these raccoons.
Well, it's
Well, actually, I saw one on Center Street the other day.
there you go.
If folks have pictures of the raccoon
There's some, I think,
There
at
was
City
an
Hall.
event or
Supper. It was the coon. They call it the coon supper.
I would love to see those and share them. It's just fascinating.
I think
to
there's
me
some
that
in
we
Bill
were
Green's
the
book.
Raccoon capital of.
They say that like 2,000 people
Z-World.
used to come to
Yeah.
those trash, what would they call them? Raccoon
It
feeds?
was a coon supper.
Coon supper. And
Yeah.
so it was a big deal back
Well,
in the
apparently
day.
there was a roller rink here too. Of all
What
things.
the what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that next to the? Whoops! Sorry, everybody.
I don't
Was
know.
that next to the
It's just
grocery
like
store
we
where
done
the
killed 'em
ceiling
all.
caved in?
No, I don't know where it was, but yeah, that's what they said.
That's wild.
I'm a terrible.
I'm
roller
assuming
skater.
that Kicks
I'm not good at
made
it either.
these shirts. would
I'm
be my
guessing
guess.
Kicks did.
Yep.
They're comfortable and delightful.
Yep. They're very
This is a great shirt. I put it on. I'm like, yeah.
yeah.
a good shirt.
Well, you know,
That'll work.
I had to make those shirts that I give away.
Those
And
shirts are comfy too.
That's what everybody says. These are good shirts. And yeah, Kicks Nelson made those. Or so. He's my go-to shirt guy now.
It's pretty awesome to have a shirt guy, local shirt printing company.
Yep. Good
Well,
deal.
I wear T-shirts most days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
and
too.
shorts during the summer. Everybody sees $1 million listing, and
They're like-
and
Dude shows up in shorts.
I have
t-shirt.
to get in crawl spaces
Yeah.
and attics
Yeah.
and run at times during the day.
I've seen him have to run during
And-
the day. Yeah.
or get chased.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I typically wear throw-out clothes.
Yeah. Urban real estate, like you see on TV, is pretty different than like
Sure.
rural real estate. Yep.
Well, I
Yep.
get the same thing. You know, people come to meet with their estate planning attorney, and they get this. I'm like,
In
listen,
your office too.
in my office.
Office.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a lair.
There you go. Garden needs t-shirts. There you go. Yeah, I showed JR. He'd been in there before because we were trading items a day before, and it's like, this is my man cave. He's like, yeah, I've been here. So
Yeah, I've been here. Yeah, I know.
it's all good.
I've bought a shotgun in a
Yep.
church.
Yep. Good times.
Good times.
It's just interesting walking out of the Jamestown Center with a freshly purchased shotgun.
You can also get a delightful cup of coffee. So many things.
To
And
say
estate
I like
plan.
Rogersville is an understatement.
And your teeth worked on.
I know.
We got
Love
it all.
it.
We got it all.
Got a one-stop shop here
Yep.
in Jamestown Plaza.
It's delightful.
No, it's fun over here. We have a good time, and all kinds of new things happening. This is like the media center of the Ozarks now, by the way, too. Right
It
here.
is a media epicenter.
We've got multiple people live streaming out here. K-ROG isn't the only one.
Yeah.
We've got Leah Darrow is now based out of here.
I follow her Instagram
She's
profile.
apparently super popular.
Yeah, she's got a lot of followers. I need to send her a message.
There you go.
I need to do a little internet stalking. Or I could just like walk down the hall.
Yeah.
But
Nice gal. Yeah, but
it's amazing. There's a lot of people who I think have moved here lately. And even some of them kind of these influencers and stuff that you really don't know that they're here because, you know, they're off where they are on their house. Their houses is usually where they're doing this because they figured out a way to work from home, right? That's the idea. So it's kind of interesting. Lots of interesting folks moving to the Ozarks.
yeah, just
There was a
gotta-
debate about that on
gotta
the.
keep our eye on them.
There's a debate about that on the Rogersville residents page over the weekend. Somebody posted basically like, why don't people take care of their animals here? And I could tell her post was made in frustration and because she's made some very reasonable comments.
Saw that.
Yeah, and then there were some unreasonable comments back to her, but we do have a little bit of an animal issue going on.
Well, I think it depends. If you're within the city limits, there is an ordinance.
Correct.
And we do enforce it.
Yeah,
because
people get tickets, yeah.
I've gotten tickets. They come to
You're
see
the
me.
judge.
I'm the judge, and
Yeah.
I kind of dropped the hammer on somebody a while back, a little bit. I think
Hammer
what I fined them like several $1,000s for their
Yow!
repeated violations of the leash ordinances, and then suspended almost all of it, so they don't have to pay it, and put them on probation for 2 years.
So like, don't do it
So like,
again.
if it happens
seriously.
again, you're going to owe all this. And so we
You're in
just put
trouble.
it right in front of them. There it is. And it seemed to have solved the problem. So that's
That's
what we
good.
did there. But we do enforce those things. And so, but if you're in the county, no,
there's nothing. I don't
nope.
think there's anything, is
Well, in
there?
the city, you license your dog. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people in
I don't think they know
Rogersville
that.
have no idea. If you live in the city limits, you're supposed to license your dog.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like $2.
Yeah.
Yep,
When I
that's what
licensed
it is.
Jake, we just recently moved out of the city limits, but when we were in town, we had the dog licensed, and
Yeah.
he had his little
Rabies deal.
tab on there
Mm-hmm. Yep.
from City Hall, and this is City of Rogersville, and
Yep. You are supposed to license. And the purpose behind that is
to
so
know
you-
whose dog it is.
Well, is to verify that they've had their rabies vaccine.
Oh, yeah.
Vaccinations is one of them because that's what you have to present. And I mean, that's
very reasonable.
it's good to know because if somebody gets attacked by a dog, you know that they've got their rabies vaccination. So, or vicious cats. I don't think you have to register cats.
I think it's a good thing.
I do too. I just don't think a lot of people know about it.
I don't think it's imposing on our freedom
No,
too much.
I think
I
it's
think
pretty
it's
normal.
something
It's-
reasonable. We
it's,
want to
uh,
keep our kids safe.
It's you know, the thing about all of that stuff is it's voluntary.
Yep.
You know, if we as a community come together and decide as a community through proper channels, this is a rule we want to have in our little community, then I am fine with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think the problem we get to is when you get a large community on one coast saying, we want this rule for an entire nation.
It's like, no, we don't want to do
It's
that.
like, no. I mean, you make your rules for you, we'll make our rules for us, and then we can all get along. You know, but it's when one group decides their rule needs
is
to
the
be
right rule for everybody,
and
because
it's-
that's not true. Everybody lives different ways
yeah,
in
it's
this
not
country.
necessarily true. And the good thing about it was, here's we got some questions here. Let's do this. Vicky, yep.
You go to City Hall.
Go to City Hall.
Yep. You need your updated rabies documentation,
Yep.
and I think a $2 bill, and
They only accept $2 bills.
I have some $2 bills.
Everybody does.
it may be $3. I'd please.
It's a couple of bucks. Yeah, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 or 5 or what it is, but it's a couple of bucks. Yeah, it's real easy as long as you got the proof of the rabies vaccination. And I believe you can license. I think you can pay the license or permit or whatever for the years of the rabies vaccination's good for. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think that's right. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. But
It's speaking of $2 bills, it is super fun to just hang on to some and then use them with a very young cashier.
oh, that would be mighty
Because
confusing.
they get super shady.
They're like they're on their.
They got the
I
pen
need a
out.
manager to register too. Can
Yeah.
you get a manager over here?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't know what they I've run into that. I paid with some dollar coins one time.
Yeah, those are weird.
And they didn't know what I really like them. I will go to the bank and ask for dollar coins. I'm kind of fun. Actually, I used to carry 5.
Yeah.
I used to carry 5 $1 coins, carried them in my pocket, and was over in Dubai. And we had eaten. When you get hotel breakfasts, places outside, like here, you get the hotel breakfast and you get like a dry biscuit and a old croissant and something like that, and maybe some crusty,
banana.
yeah, whatever.
Some weird tasting milk.
This was like a DoubleTree, right? This is not like crazy fancy hotel,
Yeah.
but we've run into this in Dubai and Beijing, and anytime we've traveled internationally, you go to their hotel breakfast, they've got like a maitre d', we'll take you to your table. They've got like an omelet bar and it's included. And they made me eggs Benedict, because I asked, could you make me eggs Benedict? They go, oh, sure. And there's all this fantastic food out. I mean,
We've been lied to.
Super awesome breakfast when you go travel internationally.
The Holiday Inn
like
Express
that.
isn't going to do it anymore.
No.
I'm mad now.
So
It's ridiculous.
We were there, and they were super nice, these guys, and none of them were from the UAE. They import them to be the workers there.
Okay.
And there was this other couple. They were European. There was like 4 of them, and they were like probably in their 60s, late 60s. They were kind of big folks. And it was crowded one morning, and they're like, "Hey, you need to wait. We don't have room for you." Like, we're not waiting. And they went.
Yeah, I'm not waiting.
They just bullied their way in and took over a table and were super rude.
What?
Oh, it was obnoxious. You think about people talk about ugly Americans. I've never seen anything.
I wouldn't do
like
that in a
these
foreign
people.
country. I don't want to end up in like jail in the Middle East.
I know, right?
Forget about that.
And I mean, they were just abusive to these people.
Oh.
And so I tipped all of them. You didn't tip. You don't tip over there. But I
Okay.
gave each of them a $1, one of the $1 coins, because I thought they were kind of unique, and they were very. And so I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, we saw you had trouble. We just want you to know we appreciate everything that you do.
Yeah.
because we're Americans, and we appreciate what you do."
So we're American. They're not.
Not.
And I want you to focus on what happened here today.
Right? Yeah.
And I mean, that goes for what's going on right now. I
Oh, you
think
got some Susan B. She got some Susan B. Anthony dollars.
I think there's some staffing at places in general that are just kind of getting abused by people.
Yeah.
It's like, be nice to the people who have shown up to work.
Well, I'm currently tipping way more than I probably
I'm
should.
trying to as well.
And I mean, I
yes.
don't want to say that, but
I know, but it's not like a look at me, I'm tipping.
No.
It's like a treat people nice
yeah,
thing.
yeah, just a little extra.
Yeah.
Just a
Nothing
little
wrong
extra.
with that.
Not a darn thing wrong with being kind to someone.
No.
And we heard a story yesterday at a closing that was so cool. We had 2 vehicles at a McDonald's, because there's
Oh
2
yeah.
lanes.
This is so cute.
And family is in one, and there's a big pickup. I think it was Dodge, maybe.
Yeah.
And the Dodge cuts off the family.
Because it was one of those where you like
Yeah, and
Zipper
they,
in.
They were going about the same time. Dodge, big truck, cuts off the family, and they're like, "What?
what?
And the kids are like, "What the heck?"
Stinky head.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he called. They told us it was funny.
Stinky something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the truck that cut them off paid for their breakfast, which was pretty
That
cool.
was sweet. I
Like
think
a-
he intentionally got in there so he could cover their
like
breakfast.
a $30+ tab.
Yep.
And so I think there's just a couple morals of that story, but I mean, first, be kind.
Yeah.
And things aren't always what they seem.
No joke, right?
So this was probably 10 years ago. I was at one of those McDonald's, and I don't think any people had yet figured out, what the protocol was for doing that. We now know you merge like a zipper.
Yeah, you zipper.
And I think that's working a lot better. But a guy in a big truck thought I had taken my spot inappropriately.
Oh no.
How dare
And began screaming all kinds of profanity at me. And I'm like, dude, if this sets you off that bad this early in the morning, you've got a bad week ahead of you. So in an abundance of compassion, I bought his breakfast.
Did you?
Yeah, which seemed to really torque him off.
I can tell you don't have any money.
That was when I drove the BMW. So
I was going to say, this was before Will's big truck days, I bet.
yeah. So I'm like, I don't know what else I can do for you, man.
Did you fly the California howdy sign?
I did
bought
not.
breakfast?
I did not. I did not. I just paid for his breakfast and
My in-laws are going to embark upon a
went about my day.
several week-long California journey because they have tons of family. I mean, Jesse's mom was from California. Jesse was born in California. I mean, but it's been a long time.
Okay.
I know. Long time. I think they moved when he was like under 5.
Yeah, well, that's probably okay then.
Yeah, and then since then they've been in Thornfield, Missouri.
Thornfield.
so nobody knows where that is unless you've been to Theodosia. But
Heard of it.
so they're getting ready to take a several week long journey to California sometime over the summer, and I'm anxious to hear their take on how California's changed.
Well, I'm confident that the reports we get out of California are the best of the best or the worst of the worst, depending on
That's
where
what I'm
we're
thinking, yeah.
looking. And I'm confident that I would hate it there. But it's probably the right place for certain folks.
Well, California's huge, and there's all different types of California.
Well, and I was visiting with a guy who came and visited our church last Sunday, and he was telling me about living in the rural parts of Northern California.
Yeah.
And he was telling me what most people from there will tell you is like, listen, the cities are the cities, and San Francisco, Sacramento, LA are dumpster fires, to use our favorite word on the Morning Waffle. So, but the rest of the state are pretty rational, normal people. It's just there's not enough of us.
Yeah.
And so we have to put up with all that crap from Gavin Newsom and all that stuff. You can always move. And some are. And we have a lot of political refugees here.
We do have political refugees.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take them. Just contribute to the community.
Well, that was the thing on the dog post the other day because, I mean, it's like more rules technically take away freedom. Not saying that sometimes you don't need rules because sometimes they're very warranted. And because there's this percentage of the population that cannot be decent humans and take advantage of freedom or just break rules. They don't care. And that's what, kind of screws it up for everybody. And it's just like the animal thing. It seems like there's just herds of animals roaming the city, but really there's probably a handful of, pet owners that just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
All I know is I've saved 2 dogs' lives.
Yes.
I mean, they were on suicide missions on Center Street.
They were going to pull a Lucky.
And I shut down the Ford Fusion twice. I'm like, you're welcome, buddy. You are living because of my right foot.
Yes.
Well, I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding that people are inherently good, and we know that's incorrect.
We know that's
people
incorrect.
are inherently bad.
Yeah.
And you have to adjust and create your rules to account for that. And as I brought up one more time, I said people also have a misunderstanding about what rights are.
Yes.
If somebody has to provide it to you, it's not a right. You have if it existed, if you were alone on a desert island with no one in to interfere, and you could accomplish this, then that's a right. So free speech's a right. The right to arm and defend yourself, that's a right. The right to gather up with whoever you want to gather up to, that's a right. Those are rights. You don't have a right to something that somebody else has to provide for you.
Yep.
So you don't have a right to food, and you can grow your own, that's fine. You don't have a right to health care because somebody else has to provide that to you. So understanding the difference between rights and privileges and responsibilities is critical as we move forward, and it's people misunderstand that, and we have huge debates about that, and that's enough for today.
Well, and I think especially with rising costs of living, I believe we've got population growth in Rogersville, obviously, and we also have now a pretty high spike in increased cost of living with gas prices, food prices. People get edgy on this stuff, and when your grocery bill's gone up significantly and your dog food bill's gone up, who are you going to feed? You're going to feed your family. And so you'll see more dogs get ditched and you'll see more cats get ditched. I mean, I remember this happening in 08 and 09, 010, where you just see people ditching animals.
Yep. There's no 010. It's just 10.
2010, sorry.
Yeah,
Whoa. Brain fart. And
007.
007. That's what it was. So, I mean, there's a direct correlation with, population growth. We're going to have growing pains. And then you've got cost of living. People are really kind of on edge right now. and they're going to, maybe not be so forgiving, maybe not keep such an eye on their pet. So these are all things that we're going to have to get used to, I think, over the next couple of years. Because, how do we fix them? What do you do?
Well,
but
you do the right thing.
So, yeah, just treat people like you want to be treated. The golden rule is so stinking important. If you're remembering anything right now, golden rule.
Yeah, I would
and if
say
you don't know
that's-
what that is, you need to Google it.
Well, the whole ripple effect.
Or look in the
thing,
Bible, because that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, these kind
Google will get you there,
actions
but
have a ripple effect.
They 100% do.
And,
They really do.
There's pay it forward, ripple effect. However you want to look at it, that's how it works.
Yep.
If you're kind to somebody, they're going to be more likely to be kind to the next person they interact with. That's
Yep.
just how we are. as
Jared and I
humans.
both worked years in retail, so we've been there. We've seen it.
Lauren and I were the point managers on. I mean, when we get the call, we knew we were walking into a nest of trouble.
the vipers.
Especially tire shop, manager to the tire shop at Sam's.
Oh,
I
no.
was just like, oh, here we go. Deep breaths
Serenity now.
and go. But we've diffused a lot of tough situations.
Yes.
And that's helped a lot in our real estate.
It's helped a
business.
ton in our real estate career because it's hard to throw something at us that surprises us, but it does still happen these days.
Well, but I mean, all of us work on the sales side and have that
Yeah.
experience and whatever. And there's some discretion there. And
Yeah.
so, somebody comes at you as a customer breathing fire and spit and vinegar. We all understand you have to de-escalate, be nice, take care of that. But somebody comes with a legitimate problem and they're all sweet and
I'm going to take care of you every day.
yeah.
You want to come
and-
live with me? Come
and
on.
you're probably going to get a better result, a better resolution.
110%. I think people totally fail to see that.
And so I'm very careful. And I won't say I've never lit anybody up, but it's generally after they have proven there's no other way to deal with that.
I have new advice for people right now. I told this to my brother Ryan yesterday. I said they're on Pandora. You can get this radio station. It's Japanese traditional radio, like blum 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 blum. You know what I mean? Like just chill, like you'd hear in like a spa room. Just find that
Japanese
station.
traditional radio.
Japanese
Okay.
traditional radio.
There's your tip for the day for the morning waffle.
Pandora station. Put that
Pandora.
puppy on in your car and chill.
All right. Well, this waffle's about burnt for today, I think. So time to flip the.
JR, did you enjoy your?
Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you.
I see myself right
It's
back
weird.
there.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
I can do all kinds of weird things. And this.
The headphones are warm.
Oh, give JR a round of applause for coming on as
I
our
should do
special
that.
guest.
Oh, thank you, JR. Here, JR, watch this.
What are we gonna do? Oh no! Did they see that?
I'm not sure. I can do this. Now we're black and
Oh
white.
my gosh!
Can-
Weird,
Crossing lines.
trippy.
All right.
We've had a lot of viewers, guys. Thank you this morning.
Thanks
We
for
appreciate
watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next week.